Welcome to Jake and Trev. I feel like we were just like, this isn't right.
I mean, we just watched Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Right, obviously.
But we were also just
like I was cold, and also I think I was wearing different clothes.
Also, I think you were evil.
It was like all wintry.
Wait, are you evil?
No, no, I'm the guy.
Whew, that was a close one.
Apparently, we're doing a review of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
The Deuce.
The Deuce.
Peter, you're gonna want to see this. Oscorp had you under surveillance. Why? Isn't that the question of the day?
Secrets have a cost. The truth does too.
What is all this?
The future. We have plans for you, Peter Parker.
We have the power now. We can change the world.
Then let's go catch a spider.
I made a choice. This is my path. I'm the only one who can stop them. I'm Spider-Man.
Usually our format is we talk about the characters and then sometimes the plot and other stuff, but this time we're just going to ask some questions of the movie.
It's just you and me talking. Whoa, be careful.
We're doing a mostly spoiler-free episode. So there's a slight, just a little bit. But yeah, so we have some questions to ask of this movie after we've seen it.
Is this the test now?
Yes.
Where is Peter Parker?
Andrew Garfield does an excellent Spider-Man. Arguably better than Tobey Maguire.
I would argue that, he's
That's why it's
flippant.
arguably better.
Right, I'm the one who would do it.
Yeah.
He's flippant.
I would argue too.
He's flippant. He's sassy the way Spider-Man should be.
Gotcha. Nope, got you too. Hey, you're not going anywhere. Come here. Come to daddy.
He does a pretty solid Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he also does Spider-Man when he's Peter Parker.
Oh God! I just spilled a hot latte all over your. I didn't do that. And you too.
That's kind of one of the big things about the Peter Parker Spider-Man duality is that Peter Parker is everything that Peter Parker is Spider-Man isn't, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Because he was shy, he wasn't that successful with girls, he had to worry about his family.
Where's Spider-Man? Like, he shows up for the action and stuff, and he swings around a little bit, but there is a distinct lack of enough Spider-Man.
Well, it piggybacks back on the first point. A lot of things that should have been Spider-Man doing these things was Peter Parker doing these things instead. With he was really flippant about using his spider abilities and like his web shooters and stuff when he wasn't in costume. To the point where it was a serious detriment.
Like how slamming dunks, throwing balls.
Right. Well, and in this one, I noticed like a couple times he'd like fire a web off while he's just like standing around the street to do something.
And nobody was like,
hey, wait a minute.
Yeah,
no, nobody cares.
Who cares?
None of this matters.
There's no motivation for him in this movie.
Right. No.
I mean, we have a carryover of Who Are My Parents from the first movie, but that's solved pretty quickly, and he's not even really asking it. There's a point where he puts up like a board with the yarn.
Right.
Where
he doesn't.
Like, who's connected to my parents?
He doesn't spend any serious time.
He puts up a web.
He doesn't really spend any real time trying to get to the bottom of this mystery. He just kind of laments how he doesn't have any more answers, and then answers basically just fall in his lap.
Guys, I guess just don't fall in the fucking sky,
he basically is like, well, I wonder if my dad had a secret like railway station he used as an operating lab. So he like he literally types in secret railway stations, finds websites that describe secret railway stations in New York, goes to the first one. He like, apparently if this was Google, he'd hit the I'm feeling lucky button and just go there directly, and then there it is.
Well, that was a freebie.
So movie, why doesn't everybody just chill the fuck out for like a minute?
Just a minute. Just everybody take a deep breath.
And
size up the situation.
Nobody does that.
Let's not fly off the handle.
Do the happy dance! Where's the singing?
The very first thing that happens is, and in my opinion, the very first thing that happens where everybody should take a minute is Peter Parker breaks up with Gwen Stacy. So he's got Edgar Friendly following him around.
I do what I have to do.
And he's like, I don't know, it's hard to go out with you, Gwen, when your dad's ghost is just always
staring at
just
me.
All, like,
Giving me like,
didn't I tell you? I know, I told you.
Leave Gwen out of it.
Okay,
yeah, so that's
yeah,
the first time where it's like, just take a minute, maybe see a doctor, maybe take some spider pills. I don't know.
Talk to somebody.
Talk to her. Be like, listen, it's really hard to be in this relationship when I see your dead dad everywhere.
Right. Or, go get a therapist. I don't know.
I think the problem in that situation is that Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy are so used to being like, well...
Okay. I gotta tell you this one thing.
The thing I would...
Oh my god!
No. Don't. Okay, no. Forget that. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about me.
That's what, you know...
It's impossible. I wish I could just...
The second time part where people should really have just sat down for a minute and thought about it, Max Dillon, Electro, Jamie Foxx in this movie, he gets his electro powers. Everyone knew he was going to get his electro powers. I'm not ruining anything.
In the dumbest way possible.
In the most idiotic.
It bears mentioning that his character is just stupid. That's as much mention as it bears.
He ends up using his electro powers in like Times Square, and everyone gets all freaked out.
But he's in that mode where it's like, I just got powers. What the fuck's going on? Everybody's like, oh my god, he's got powers. What the fuck's going on? So everyone needed to chill the fuck out.
Just take a second.
This
guy is...
Take a breather.
Can you guys not tell how terrified he is?
I can see that. I can see you don't want to be here. I can see you're scared. I can see you don't know what's happening to you. I can see that you don't want to hurt anybody.
Spider-Man shows up in the scene, tries to get everyone to cool down. Nobody follows
I got a shot.
through. Nobody follows through.
Should I take the shot?
I don't want them shooting
I'm
me.
not going to shoot you.
Oh, these fucking cops.
I'm gonna take the shot.
No, don't. Why'd you? And then Electro just flies off the handle and assumes that everybody in the entire area against him.
He could have taken. Wait, I'm a crazy blue electricity monster. Maybe I should,
Maybe I'm the monster.
I'm a monster!
Because they're not hurting me with these bullets. They actually, before Spider-Man even showed up, the police were like firing at him, and the bullets were like matrixing in front of him.
Right.
And it was like, obviously bullets aren't going to hurt him. So he gets shot by a 50 cal, and then he's like, now it's time to be evil.
You set me up.
No, I didn't set you up.
You lied to me.
Apparently no one knows how to talk to each other.
No, that's a rule of this
movies.
universe. Nobody has any idea how to communicate like fucking human beings.
I can't. It's hard to say.
And then the third major point where somebody needed to just chill the fuck out for a second, Harry Osborn, who y'all know is in this movie, he learns from his dad he's got this degenerative disease that's going to kill him someday.
Someday.
Like his dad was the operant point.
Yeah, his dad was like in his late 50s, at least.
At the least.
At the least.
We're talking like late 50s to like early 70s. So and Harry Osborn is, I believe they even specifically say he's like in his like really early 20s, like he's like 22 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so
it's like, you got time, bro.
You got time.
The very best thing of all is there's time now.
And a company that's what they do.
Right.
That's what they work on.
Right. And also Norman gives him all of the research he's ever done on trying to cure this.
Like, hey,
That's everything Oscorp has ever worked on.
With all this said, he just wastes no time freaking out and acting like he is going to drop dead in the next 5 minutes for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Like, oh man, I gotta do something.
I gotta do something,
man.
This is such a small simplification of what actually happens in the movie, that if you haven't watched it already as you're watching this, when you do watch it, you'll be astounded by how little I'm paraphrasing this. He gets it in his head that Spider-Man has super blood that's going to fix it.
Blood.
It's going to fix his problems. So he figures out that because Peter's taking pictures of Spider-Man, they must be good friends. And he says, Peter, you gotta get Spider-Man to give me some of his blood. Give me the blood, Lord! So I can shoot it in my body and cure me of my disease.
You're dumb.
And Peter Parker's like, I'll see what I can do.
And then Spider-Man shows up and he's like, no, I can't.
I can't, sorry, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do for you.
Why did you show up? And then that's immediately when Harry's like, you're supposed to save everybody.
Table flip.
I'm so angry.
Because Spider-Man wouldn't give him his blood, which had no chance of actually curing his disease.
No, none at all. Because we find that out too, and I called this, by the way.
You called it.
I called this a while ago.
Ups for Jake, because he called it.
That Spider-Man was predestined to be Spider-Man. Because everybody's predestined to be some fucking hero now.
You can't just be...
You can't just accident your way into being a hero and then deal with it.
Until he had a horrifying accident and fell into a vat of nuclear waste. Melvin became the Toxic Avenger.
Like Spider-Man that was kind of Spider-Man's
whole deal. His whole deal.
Because that's why he became a wrestler first, because it was like, what do I do with powers? All right, I'll be a wrestler.
And
then Uncle Ben got shot, and it was like, oh no, I guess I should actually be responsible with all this power.
Absolutely.
But then in this one, it's like, yeah, save people, don't, whatever, who cares? I don't know.
This is a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
So you've probably seen in the trailers where Oscorp apparently is responsible for the creation of the Green Goblin suit and the Doc Ock arms and the Vulture harness. But one piece of technology we did not see in the trailers was Oscorp's fantastic new technology that traps all characters in this movie in the first dimension.
Oh, I get it. I get jokes.
They're so simple. They're simple, like, they've
that's
removed all
something.
nuance and, like, subtlety from these characters. We learned that Peter and Harry were best friends and when they were kids, and so now they're best friends.
You know, when my father sent me away, I tried to forget everything about this place. I guess that kind of included you.
And then for the rest of the movie, they act like they have this really close bond and they're best friends.
It's more like them getting to know each other again.
Right. Basically. They just don't have that close of a relationship, but we are told that they have a close relationship.
And then with Electro, they make his character before he turns into Electro basically just a one-note psycho.
I wish I was like him.
Like, something would have gone wrong even if he hadn't got powers.
Right.
They had to give him some motivation. It was like, what if he's obsessed with Spider-Man, and then when he gets his power, Spider-Man, in his mind, you know,
betrays
he's
him
forlorn,
somehow.
you know, yeah, like he's betrayed.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
He is, he's an introvert, and he is not just an introvert.
Which is another way to say, fuck you, audience.
Right, fuck you, nerdy guys who are watching.
Oh, I love Spider-Man. See, he's gonna turn out to be a nut because he loves Spider-Man so much. While Spider-Man's skateboarding and having a hot girlfriend. Fuck you, nerds.
Right. He appears to have an affection for Spider-Man, which you've just confirmed, and then he somehow feels betrayed by Spider-Man because...
You don't remember me?
Oh, I do. I know it. Don't tell me.
Spider-Man forgot his name.
Spider-Man forgot his name.
Who is he? What is he? Where does he come from?
You don't have to make any rational decisions after that because he's crazy. It's fine. He's just crazy.
You're crazy.
Who is this movie for exactly? It's not for comic book fans.
There was a time when it was all about comics for me, you know?
Unless you were just dying as a comic fan to see it brought to life in whatever point. And then there's already a trilogy. There's already a trilogy to see your favorite fucking Spider-Man antics going on screen.
I mean, obviously the third one wasn't that good, but whatever. With Batman, you know, the Batmans 1 through 4 from the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those were along the same lines. It was kind of the same attitude of Batman. It got a little campy at the end.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
And then when it was rebooted with Batman Begins, they took it from a different angle.
Right.
And it was a completely different... It was The Dark Knight. You know, we show him getting good at karate.
Can you be cold, Batman?
fighting gangsters instead of goofy Icemen and shit like that.
Right.
You know? So they took it. They did a complete 180 on the series, but with this, it's more of like a 45-degree turn.
Right.
Where it's like it's the same Spider-Man, it's the same Uncle Ben, same. The only thing is, it's not Mary Jane this time, which Spider-Man had like 1 million girlfriends.
Right.
The main difference is that apparently Oscorp is just creating all of the villains.
Right.
And that Spider-Man is destined to be Spider-Man.
And to fight these people.
But it's not, besides that, there's not really a change. In fact, like, with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, he has, you know, motivation to be better and to be more responsible. You know, with great power comes great responsibility, which they can't say in these movies for some reason.
I can't. It's hard to say.
So that's a huge change, I guess.
Right.
Is that there's no responsibility in these movies for Spider-Man to do the right thing. I mean, he does because he's Spider-Man, but...
Right, and he's a good guy.
But he can just mope around for a while and be like, I don't want to be Spider-Man, whatever.
So it's not for comic book fans.
It's not for movie fans.
It's not for movie fans. It's not for people who are looking for, you know, an interesting storyline.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah, because it's just so convoluted. It's not for people who want an action movie either, because the action in the movie is very few and far between. In fact, I would love to actually sit down with a cut of the movie and figure out how much time the action takes up in the movie, because it's not that much.
It's a simple movie with characters that are simple, with simple motivations. It's for simple people.
But it's not even
and
that.
Simple relationships, and they make simple decisions, and there's nothing complex about this movie at all.
Hold on.
I would argue that it isn't even for those people.
Hold on.
It's somehow staggeringly simple and infuriatingly complex in other ways.
At the same time.
Hold on! Hold on!
I would argue this movie is for no one.
It's for no one.
It's for nobody.
To paraphrase Mary Todd Lincoln, it is like a ballroom dandy flitting about the South with neither weight nor substance, not unlike a balloon on the wind.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
Would you recommend this movie?
Oh, absolutely not.
Like, to anybody?
No, I would recommend this to people that have read Spider-Man or saw the movies, just so I can sit down and watch it with them and be like, right?
Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, but...
Okay then.
Compare notes with somebody. Or I might
I'm not the only person that sees this, right?
I might recommend it to somebody who hates Spider-Man.
I want you to kill Peter Parker.
Like, if you want to see a smear job, a really poor representation of Spider-Man, see this. But otherwise, it's just not really... I don't see any point.
Yeah.
So, I think that about wraps it up. So, for Jake and Trev Review Everything, I'm Trev.
I'm Jake.
And thanks for watching.
Peanut butter disaster.